pretty sure this is like the 8th time I'm filming this intro for my very first video of the year, which, you know, is right on par with my brand. Hey guys, happy 2019. This is the first video I'm actually filming this year, which feels weird, but I hope you guys had a great holiday season, and today's video is going to be my 2018 favorites. Now, I know I was absent for most of 2018, so a lot of these products I haven't talked to you guys about just because I was gone for so long, but I kind of hope that that will be a good thing because a lot of this stuff is like a fresh set of things, not necessarily that are new to the market, but I haven't spoken about specifically, so hopefully you guys like that. There's a good mix of drugstore and high-end as well, so without further ado, let's get started. First product I want to talk about is the Revlon Colorstay foundation. This is such a throwback for me. I don't know if any of you have been around since the days when this was like not only super popular on YouTube, but was my holy grail. Like, there was no way I was ever going to try any other foundation. There was no way anything was going to top it for me. I was in love with this foundation, and so a few months ago I bought it again because I was like, maybe I'll do that like how I did my makeup in high school video. Never did it, but I did get the foundation that I used to use. I haven't used this in at least 5 years, and I love it. I love it so much. I don't know why I ever abandoned you. I'm so sorry. This stuff is fantastic. Now, I'm someone who I'm cool with a medium coverage. Like, if some stuff peeks through, freckles, redness, even blemishes, it's okay with me. Like, I feel like it's okay for my skin to look like, you know, it's skin. So I would consider this more of a medium coverage, but I love it. It just melts into my skin so nicely, and it lasts a really long time. This is 24-hour wear. I don't know if I would go that far, but it does have SPF 15, which is great, and I do use the combination oily formula. There's also one for dry skin as well. I missed this, and I will never leave you again, okay? This next product is something that I have talked to you guys about, but I think it's definitely worth bringing up again just because I love it, and I think it's a staple for anyone who has fair or light skin, or at least or for anyone whose skin tone is significantly different from, say, winter to summer. So this is the LA Girl Pro Coverage HD Foundation in the shade White. So I like to add this to any foundation, as you can guess, that's a little bit dark. I will use this in a mixture of foundations. Today I'm actually using it, I used like less than half a pump. I added it to my Estee Lauder Double Wear as well as the Revlon Colorstay. I've been kind of doing a mixture of things recently just for funsies, but this is great to give you like the perfect shade, especially when you're at your fairest. So I really do recommend this if you happen to have lighter skin. The next product I have talked about, everybody has talked about, but I found the shade that I think works the best for me. So this is Tarte Shape Tape, and this is in the shade Fair Light Neutral. I also have Light Neutral and Light Sand, one of which is too light for me and one of which right now is a little bit too dark. So this sits right in the middle of those, and I think generally speaking, as far as like, I don't want to say my average skin tone, but where my skin sits in the middle, this is the best for it. I just really like this concealer. I think it's a staple. If you haven't tried it, I don't see why you wouldn't want to. There was a point in time, I think during the summer, where my skin, especially on my chin, was breaking out consistently. Like, it was never clear, which is like was weird for me. So I was wearing Shape Tape like every day, and it was the only concealer that I felt covered it up and also stayed there. So I have to give it up for this concealer because it made me feel a lot more comfortable with myself during that period of time. So next up, I have a powder that I feel like now that I think about it, a lot of people have talked about, but I had never felt the need to try it. It wasn't even on my radar until I randomly picked it up at the drugstore. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Powder and the loose powder, and this is so good. I was like hardcore Laura Mercier fan because I think that powder is amazing, but it's expensive, and it's a powder, and you kind of think, do I need to spend like $40 on a powder? Probably not. So I picked this up after, why did I pick this up? I don't know. So I picked this up kind of on a whim. I was getting another Fit Me foundation because my other one ran out, and so I saw this powder and I looked up a couple reviews and it seemed good, so I was like, alright. And I love this powder. It's a great loose powder. I use it to set my whole face, under eyes, everything, and I never feel like it ever looks cakey. It never looks too powdery. If I happen to over powder, which is very rare, I will just go in with a spray and it sets everything beautifully. I do feel like this elongates the longevity of my makeup. I just really think this is a great powder, and this is in the shade Fair Light. Don't be afraid of the color that it looks like in the jar, because my camera washes everything out, but this looks a lot darker than I would typically think a Fair Light powder should look, but then on my skin, it seems fine, so don't be wary if it looks a little bit dark. Next up, I have a blush that I have been using literally every single day since I bought it, and that's really weird for me, and it's saying a lot to my brain because I like to cycle through blushes a lot, and I love blush, but the fact that I've used this one non-stop is like really weird to me. So this is the Burt's Bees Blush Alliteration in the shade Bare Peach. And I know Kathleen loves these, that's why I even decided to try these. I never would have picked this up without her recommendation, and I love this, obviously, so much. It's just such a natural flush to the cheeks, and I do feel like this would be flattering when I'm at a lighter skin tone like now, and then during the summer when I get a little bit tanner, I feel like this would be just as nice on the skin. The formula is beautiful. It blends in so easily. You don't need a lot at all, so I feel like this is going to last forever, even though I use it literally every day. I can't put it down, so definitely check these out if you haven't already, and I do love the fact it's really light and compact, so it's good for travel as well. Okay, so I picked 2 highlighters for this year. Now, I love highlight, and I have a lot. I could do a full video on highlights because I just love them so much, and it would just be such a happy video for me. But I decided to narrow it down to 2, and they're actually the 2 newest ones to my collection, and I've actually only been using them for a couple months now. So take that how you will, but these are so good that I don't see why I wouldn't call them my favorites, you know? When you love something, you love it. Before I got these 2 highlights, I was using Champagne Pop like almost every day. I would like switch in some other ones, of course, but now that I have these 2, I have not stopped using these 2 highlights. It's like that much of an impact, because Champagne Pop was like seriously my #1, and now I'm like, maybe not. The first one is the Jouer Powder Highlighter in Citrine. I think Nikki Tutorials was the first one who might have talked about this a while ago though. Super late on this bandwagon, but I love this. It's the highlight I'm wearing today. Can't really see a ton because of this hat situation, but I love this so much. It's beautiful. It's really nice and reflective and bright without emphasizing texture, and I just love this. It's so nice. The one thing that sucks about this is that it's so soft and fragile. In the video that I hauled this, I told you about my customer service experience where the first one they sent me completely shattered in the packaging. I bought this from Sephora, and then they sent me a replacement right away, and so this is actually the replacement one, but I know that I can't travel with this, which kind of makes me sad, but I love it. It's a beautiful highlight, and I highly recommend it as long as you don't want to travel with it. And the other one is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlight. Honestly, I don't know anything about her. I think her name is Amra. I don't follow her on anything, but I saw this highlight and I tried it in the store, and I just think it is so beautiful and the weirdest formula ever. This is the only highlight that literally has no fallout. It's like actually impossible to get fallout from this. Like, I feel you could rub your brush in there like as vigorously as possible, and I don't think there would ever be any kind of kick up at all. It's like, it's mind-blowing. That being said, that's why I think this formula makes it so that it melts into the skin. There's no like weird surface type highlight. I know you guys, you know what I'm talking about when the powder sometimes kind of sits on top of the skin, and then maybe you'll go in with a setting spray to make it set better, but this doesn't even need that. It just happens to go onto the skin very flawlessly, and I won't say it looks natural because my skin does not glow like that naturally, but it does look very skin-like on the skin, you know? It's almost like it's in the skin. But, you know, is this a good description? I don't know. I freaking love it. It's great. I highly recommend it. I have 2 eyeshadow palettes that I want to talk about today. I've tried a lot of eyeshadow palettes since I've been gone and throughout the year. And these two are ones that I just kept going back to and was just overall really impressed by. I have a lot of neutrals in my collection, and so I'm kind of at that point where like I love neutrals, but I also don't feel like I'm wowed by them as much as I maybe was once, you know? So this palette is from Alamar Cosmetics, and I'm gonna butcher this name. It's Reina del Caribe? I'll just put the little text here. I don't want to say it again. This is the volume 1. They recently came out with volume 2, which the colors don't appeal to me as much in that one, if you're wondering if I'm going to get that one. I actually got this in a BoxyCharm, and I'm so glad that I did, because I don't think I ever would have purchased this on my own. But now that I have it, I highly recommend it. If anything ever happened to this one, I would buy one. I just love it. There's only 8 shades, but each one is impactful, and I really like that, because these colors are just so fun. I'm using a lot of them today. I kind of wanted to dip into both palettes I'm going to talk about. So today I have this one, and this one on my lower lash line, and then this one is in the inner part of my lid. Of course I wear a hat that covers my eyes, sort of, today. And then I use this deep brown as well to like smoke out the top outer V. And then I did use a little bit of this one on the lower lash line as well. I love this palette. The quality is really good. The metallics are so smooth, very reminiscent to the Makeup Geek foiled shadows, and then the mattes are great too. So I love this range of shades, and it's a really great palette, and it's nice and slim and compact, and I would be comfortable traveling with this. This other palette, I kind of hesitate in bringing it up because it was a holiday palette, but if you can find it in stores still, I highly recommend checking it out because it's on clearance now. It's from Urban Decay. It's the Elements palette, and like I said, I'm kind of over neutrals, so that's why these two palettes really impressed me and intrigued me this year. So this is what it looks like, and it just has such a cool variety of colors. And I'm someone, when I'm going to do my makeup on camera, I want to do a look that has some punch to it. Like sometimes I'll do a neutral if I'm going to do like something bold on the lips, but otherwise I want to do like a fun look that's not necessarily every day, for most people anyway. The most requested and complimented eye look that I think I've ever done was from this palette, when I used this blue and I took some of this one and just bright colors, and you guys were like really into it. This formula in here is really consistent overall, and I just think it's a really great palette full of a lot of cool shades. So if you can get your hands on this, I highly recommend it. This isn't the kind of palette that I would travel with. It's kind of big and bulky, but it's nice to have in your collection. I have one lip product to talk about, and it's something that I feel like no one has ever talked about these, I don't think. I think I've mentioned this maybe once or twice, but it's the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner. Now I have this Suede Matte Lip Cream in this exact same shade. This is the shade Sandstorm. It's just like a pinky brown. It's what I'm wearing right now. It's nothing exciting. Like, you're not gonna like write home about this type of a thing. But I love this for every day because I literally wear this every day. I put a lip balm on, and then I line my lips and fill in my lips with this. Sometimes I'll use the lip cream on top of it if I'm feeling like it, but most days I'll just use this, and it's enough to give my lips some color, to make them stand out a little bit more, but nothing super in your face, and it lasts a long time. And I mean, I just love it. I get a lot of questions about what like nude lip I'm wearing all the time, and it's pretty much this one or the Pat McGrath contour I was wearing for a while, like a couple months ago. No, that's a lie. Last month? But for the majority of the past year or two, it's been this one, and I highly recommend it because it's my favorite color and I wear it all the time. The rest of the products I'm going to talk about today are skincare. The first one being the Drunk Elephant T.L.C. Framboos Glycolic Night Serum, which I'm sure you guys have all heard about, if not tried at this point. But I want to give this a shout out because I have to sneeze. I have to give this a shout out because when I was having my chin breakout issues, as I mentioned earlier in the video, this I feel is what helped the most. You can use this both as a spot treatment or as an all-over serum, which I feel makes it a bit more versatile than maybe other products are. And I also like the fact that you can get this in a little mini. It comes in a duo, which I highly recommend because if you don't want to shell out, I think it's $90 for the full one, you can get the little one, and it does last a long time. A little bit goes a long way, and I do feel like it makes sense to get the little one, and then you can also take this traveling as well. I really love this. In fact, I did use it during the day when I was having issues a little bit with my skin as well, which perhaps is not recommended as it is called a night serum, but I don't feel like that had any negative impact. In fact, I feel like that's what helped clear it up faster. So I do really like this and highly recommend it. Now these next two products are what I feel like has kept my skin consistently clear since I was dealing with that chin breakout. So these are both from the Body Shop from their Tea Tree line. I've talked about their tea tree oil before, so I didn't want to bring that up again, but that's something I use for spot treatment as well. But these are their mattifying lotion and night lotion. And I read so many good reviews on the website about these, but for whatever reason, I'd never tried them before. So the night lotion, as you can guess, is what I use at night. It helps clear up like hyperpigmentation and stuff like that over a period of time, but it also, I feel, helps keep the breakouts away, at least to a minimum compared to what I was using before. And then the mattifying lotion is what I use during the day, but I'll only use it like in the T-zone. But I do feel like both of these make a difference, and I've been using them really consistently, and I have to say, I think these are really what are keeping my skin clear. The last product I want to talk about today is from Pixi, and this is actually a giant customized one that they sent me, which is really cool. And I will fully admit that if they hadn't sent me, the ones I was trying first were the like the middle little travel size ones, but if they hadn't sent those to me, I honestly never would have picked this up. It was not on my radar at all, but I decided to try it on a whim as I was running out of my Neutrogena alcohol-free toner, which was like my obsession for a while, but now it's pretty much been replaced by this. So this is their Glow Tonic, and it has glycolic acid in it, so it's a little bit exfoliating for your skin, which I think makes the biggest difference for me. I do use this day and night and don't have any issues with it. I just take a cotton pad and rub it in gentle circles around my face, and I feel like this really does smooth my skin. It makes it look brighter, and I'm kind of like mind blown by it. I will say, I do not love the smell of this. It smells like roses, but like an old lady rose. Like, you know, like how you imagine a grandma smells. My grandma doesn't smell like this. Fun fact, my grandma doesn't have a sense of smell, so she wouldn't even know if she smelled like this. But I know that she doesn't smell like this. So I don't love that. Like, it's a little bit just like, oh, like it's an old lady on my face. But, that sounds weird. But the effects are totally worth putting up with the smell, and I really, really enjoy this. If they hadn't sent me this giant one and I'd run out of the little one, totally would have gone out and purchased one myself. So I really do like this. These three products I feel like are what are keeping my skin really nice. Knock on wood. But I have to give it up to them because seriously, I've really been happy with the results. And that is it for my 2018 beauty favorites. I hope you guys liked this video. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know what you guys would like to see next. Kind of in that position again where I'm like, I don't really know what I want to do. I've done like 10,000 hauls in a row, so I kind of want to step back from that just for a second. But let me know what you guys want to see, and I will see you next time. Bye!